Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now Kabam has blessed us with a glorious message about the Battlegrounds update. And no, it is not an announcement about the details of the update. It is announcement about the fact that there will be an announcement when we do have some details. Just not now. At some point in the future, some weeks away. So once again, Kabam's genius is at work here. You see, when you do not have a ready product to present, you can just tell them it's coming. We heard you. We, as a company, have heard players' frustrations. Therefore, we are going to make an announcement about an upcoming announcement where we will address many of your complaints. We have seen your comments on Battlegrounds, particularly the latest string of videos regarding the mode. We are continuously working on Battlegrounds and are committed to its long-term success. We recognize that in recent months we have not done the best job of keeping all of you in the loop of the Battlegrounds developments. Now, you see, this is the point where I kind of find issue. Because they have not only kept us in a loop, well, not kept us in a loop in the recent months, they have never kept us in a loop about Battlegrounds developments. As, again, in recent months, is doing such a heavy lifting when you realize that Battlegrounds last got updated about 18 months ago. How many of those 18 months are the recent months? And it's not that they haven't kept us in a loop of Battlegrounds developments. It's more so that there, well, haven't been any for a very significant amount of time. We hear you and understand your frustrations. The game team has been cooking up a few things that will address many of your concerns, but we aren't quite ready to share them yet. To that end, the details will be provided by our resident long poster Kabam Crashed in the coming weeks. But for now, we wanted to make sure that you know that we see you, we hear your feedback, and we are taking these conversations very seriously. Oh, I feel seen, I feel acknowledged, I feel heard. It's a joyful moment. Truly. Thank you, Kabam, for listening. Now, I'd much prefer you doing something, but I appreciate the sentiment. No, but if you're talking about this a bit more seriously, there is one very obvious problem with Kabam that, happens continuously throughout the entire game. And that is very simple. They let things hit the absolute rock bottom, turn to complete shit before they start doing something, rather than carry on working on something in the background to a point where something gets, outdated. There is something else coming and people are satisfied with it, or at the very least there is some, change in engagement happening. The problem with Kabam in general is that there are so many game modes and everything else that they will let any single game mode or any single meaningful area of the game lay completely ruined. That was exactly the same case, for instance, with all the solo events that were outdated by 3-4 progression titles, where the highest progression people who were chasing 7-star shards were getting 5-star and 4-star shards in their solo events and weekly events and such. It's not that they didn't update them from 4-star to 5-star, from 5-star to 6-star, from 6-star to 7-star. It's that they just didn't bother updating them at all, whilst effectively the game went through 3 iterations of new progression titles. The same thing is with arenas. Anybody remembers when arenas were last updated or anything done with arenas? Kabam promised us change in incursions and loyalty crystals. They didn't come. Kabam, what's happened with the monthly event content? It got updated and it was fine, and then it completely fell out of relevance. Then somewhere along the way they introduced Power Gauntlet, which still forced you to do the completely outdated piece of content just so you have the opportunity to do Power Gauntlet. And it's similar thing with Battlegrounds now. They just completely abandoned it, and now that there's a ton of fuss being kicked around it, when it's quite obvious that an update to Battlegrounds is like overdue for like a year or half a year minimum. They're telling us that they are close to being able to share the details. Another thing that kind of ticks me off, especially with the timing of this post, because they are going in a relatively sneaky way about this as well, where they're like, we're going to share something within the next couple of weeks. You know what that means? It means that this Battleground season is going to end in 4 days. There's going to be an off season, and a new Battleground season is going to start, and then they're going to share us. So what effectively is the takeaway from this post is that there will be no rewards or any update whatsoever to the Battlegrounds for the upcoming season. Season 28 is when we have the best hope or chance to see something at the earliest. It also means that there's likely going to be like a Kabam stream where they may or may not address something of that nature in the live stream, but it definitely means that next season is also going to be shit. So whilst it's nice to be heard and it's nice to be acknowledged, what they are doing is still not nice. And that's kind of the thing. I don't need to be kept in the loop necessarily if things are happening in somewhat timely manner. Kabam saying, okay, there's this update. The point where community is making the videos already talking about how abysmal the rewards are, and there, has been recurring sentiment of Battlegrounds being outdated and quote unquote not worth it for at least 6 months in the game. And then it reaches a boiling point when just about most of the bigger voices in community are saying that, come on, Kabam, you're killing your own game. And at that point, Kabam is like, yeah, okay, we hear you, and we have something coming. That is completely different schedule or timeline what should happen if there is somebody actively managing the game economy. What should happen is that at the point when people are starting to speak somewhat like, Battlegrounds seem quite outdated, I don't know if it's worth it, it just didn't seem to be worth the grind or effort, it's quite stressful. At that point, announcement like this should be happening. We are hearing you, and we are going to be making something happen soon. Not when the shit has hit the fan. When shit has hit the fan, like right now, it's already too late. Like, it's genuinely too late for this type of message to be received positively, in my opinion. The train has left the station. And what's worse is that instead of actually giving us details of saying, okay, here is what we got, we effectively get like, we heard you. It's like, bitch, it's impossible not to hear when every single one of your biggest content creators talking shit about the game mode and the game mode's effectively being abandoned. The alliances who were built and made for Battlegrounds are taking a break from Battlegrounds. Like, that is the critical. When people who are putting up 1,000,000 points every Battlegrounds season are not bothering beyond doing the bare minimum to get the milestones, it's too fucking late. That is the point. When your hardcore gamers are giving up on the game mode, you have fucking missed the mark already. But I am certainly glad that I have been heard. And that at some point in the future, within next weeks, we're gonna get details about an update at undisclosed time in the future. So what this announcement says is that at some point in a couple of weeks, we will tell you what we're going to be bringing into the game in next couple of weeks or months. Fucking ace! You fucking morons! Not Dork, personally, because it's not his fault or, decision what gets and what doesn't get updated at all. But there is a moron or a gathering of morons responsible for the state the game's in. So but at least I'm heard. At least something, right? It's kind of like, I just realized what's happening here is effectively game going to shit, everything breaks down, Kabam saying they can send out a compensation and gives you a profile picture. Hey, at least I'm heard and I got something. Yeah, dicks. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about